Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another Industria development stream. I know today I said I was going to be working on Railroad, but I've decided to in fact not do that, and instead we're going to work on Industria again. I don't really have a reason, I just don't particularly want to work on Railroad today, so we're just going to work on Industria instead. And yeah, we're going to continue where we left off yesterday. We'll quickly see exactly where that was, because I'm not entirely sure. I also do apologize for the stream being a little later than usual. I had to finish some GeoGuessr games so that I get ranked up to Master. So yes, that's why the stream is a little bit delayed than usual. Also, for some reason, OBS is not showing me the chat. Like, it's just not working. So I might struggle to see the chat today, because it's going to be a little bit of a pain. Maybe I can fix that somehow? I don't know. It's being weird, so we'll see. But hopefully that will be fine. So anyways, where we left off is we were looking at the centrifugal concentrator, and we have this issue where it just doesn't spin properly, right? That's basically the problem. And also we have no energy, and I think we have no energy. I don't know why we have no energy actually. It just looks like, I guess we're just not generating enough. So 9,167 is probably how much we're generating. Hence that is constantly there. I assume this probably uses more than that, and that's probably why. Whilst we're at it, actually, I'm quickly going to go ahead and break that cable, so that this stops processing for a second, so that we can then therefore figure this out. So yeah, this is going to be a pain, I think. We have to figure out. So the issue is because we're trying to modify the state like this. I think what we're going to do, let's look at the enchantments table. Or is it enchanting table? Because if we look at the enchantment table, or enchanting table, whatever, if we quickly go ahead and grab one. Enchanting table. So you can see that the book goes ahead and does the page stuff, right? And then it also spins when you're not near it. So that presumably is going to have to, base itself on something. Let's actually open this properly rather than in the way it's doing that. So we'll have to do like this, and we'll go files, and then, oh my god, IntelliJ, please, this one. Okay, so if we look in here, so we have the page turning speed. Interesting. So it looks like what this is doing is this is updating this within the actual update render state method. And I suppose we could do that, couldn't we? That might actually work. So in that case, what we can do is we can come into our update render state and just plonk that down here. And then, honestly, that might work. Now, I didn't run in debug mode for some reason. I don't know why I didn't do that. But yeah, let's try that. And I mean, that honestly might fix it, to be honest. So let's see. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Rat. Welcome to the stream. Once again, I cannot see chat. So the only way I can see chat right now is through the stream preview. There must be a way I can fix this. Let me try do something real quick, actually. If I reset the UI, do I want to do that? No, probably not, actually. So if I bring up chat, okay, if I turn that to live chat, maybe that will work. If not, I have I just put YouTube up on my other window, or my other monitor, I should say. So hopefully we can use that. Oh, what I also do need to do real quick. Yeah, that's still not working in OBS, unfortunately. So I will close that. Hello, X and C. Welcome to the stream. Before I forget, I'm also going to quickly do the announcement in Discord because I did almost just forget. Okay, my mic is being really jarring today. It's like not locking in place at all. Okay, there we go. So let me do Discord announcement. I also may have to pause the stream at some point because I don't have any water next to me. Must have forgot to go and get that. So we may have to pause at some point, but for now we will continue. Okay, let's load in and hopefully... Yes, unfortunately, that's not working. I actually don't know why. That's interesting. So, probably because it's doing this. Let's have a look at what we had before. And that will probably be a good way to keep track of that. So, if I go history... and we are looking for the centrifugal concentrator. So if that's the model, I need the... looking in the get history. No. Okay, I'm just going to go through all the way down. I actually can't find it. Aha, found it. So let me have a look at what I did last time. Okay, I see. Okay, so what we did last time... let's go back into here. So last time we used this. Now, obviously that will be state. This will be state.recipe RPM. And this will be state.takeProgress. Now, is that what we just had? Is the question. Yes, so that is exactly the same as what we just had. So that doesn't really help us, unfortunately. Okay. Do we need to, like... I'm not sure what it's doing, to be honest. Have a look in here and see if we can figure out, like, why the hell is it doing this? So it is just using the state.bowl rotation. I suspect it's because we're doing this setter here, right? Yeah, so the way vanilla does this is it has a last book rotation. Now, I don't know how it sets the last book rotation. That is the only thing. So... yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. What we can do is we can just try and find usages of this, and maybe we can see that's being set somewhere. So that's actually set in the block entity here. And that is set to next page turning speed. Okay, so where is then the book rotation set? So wow, interesting. So that actually uses the tick method. So the tick method obviously must therefore run on the client. Yeah. So that's happening down here. These are the write methods, and these are inside the tick method. So what we will therefore have to do, only problem is we can't use like the tick progress or anything. Yeah, that is very much a problem. Well, maybe what we could do is if inside the first times tick progress. So I guess in reality, we actually just need to keep track of this, right? So if we come into the block entity, and then we actually have the bowl rotation in there. I thought we removed that, but I guess not. So what we'll have to do is actually not in onTick. Now, unfortunately, the problem with the ticking and the way that I've done this is it only happens server side. So that either means that we have to set it server side and yeah, unfortunately that either means we have to set it server side or yeah, we either have to set it server side and then sync it to the client, or we're going to have to refactor the tick method so that it can run on the client. I think the latter is probably the easiest solution and probably the better solution long term. So what we're going to have to do is we're actually going to have to come into here and just trying to see. So this is the update stuff. That's all fine. Like that's not a problem. The issue itself is in the syncable tickable block entity, which implements or extends tickable block entity. Now here we actually use create ticker. However, we can technically modify this to allow us to pass in a boolean, right? So it extends block entity, and we're going to go block entity ticker of T. I'm going to go create ticker. So this will just be an overload. It's going to take in a world, and it's going to take in a boolean allow client. Now, if it doesn't allow the client, then all we need to do to simplify this is actually just return create ticker of world, right? Else we will just do this. So that should be fine. Now, what we need to do is inside of the actual block class, So that will be the centrifugal concentrator block. In the should tick, we need to allow for this to have a client boolean. Best way to do that? Because we obviously don't want to break all the existing ones, right? So let's have a public block and block entity properties t should tick allow client. And what this will therefore do is this will say should tick, and we're also going to create the ticker, because right now I believe, yeah, that just uses create ticker of world, but what we need to do instead is we need to create ticker and pass in that boolean. We can in fact even say allow client, and then just directly pass in allow client like that, which kind of simplifies the entire thing, right? Okay, lovely. So then what we can do is in here we can just do should tick allow client true like that. And then inside our block entity class, we're going to have to come into the tick method. Now here we're doing this client check, but we're actually not going to do that. What we can instead do, now we have a couple options here. I think a better alternative would be to actually have two tick methods and just have one that basically delegates. So it will delegate to an on client tick rather than an on tick. So if we go to super method, yeah, so this is our tick method. Now what we can do is just have a default void on client tick like that, and we can just say this is a little bit complicated to do, but basically what we want to say is if so we don't have access to the world, so what we have to do is we have to say if object of this, and then put that in brackets, and cast that then, oh no, I guess that's fine. Actually, I think we don't actually have to cast an object, do we? So we can just say if this is instance of a block entity, then we can say if the world is not null and the world is client, then we can call that our on client tick. Now what we do want to do is we want to say else on tick, basically. I think that's the best way to do this. Therefore, in here, we don't need this check, because that will just simply never happen. And instead, we can actually just have an on client tick. Hello, Wide. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so inside the on client tick, all we need to do is basically do this dot bowl rotation is equal to this dot bowl rotation plus that. Now we actually don't want to do that, I think. So we can actually just do therefore plus equals. And what that means is that when we do here, so we can just say So else we can just use... Trying to think. I think what we want to do is block entity dot bowl rotation times the tick process. So state dot bowl rotation is equal block entity dot bowl rotation times the tick progress, and then modulus that by 360. Hello, Aleatorio. Welcome to the stream. Let's try that and I guess just see what happens. It might possibly work, but it's going to be hard to say for sure. So we'll see. We may indeed need a last bowl rotation, possibly. If so, then we will do that. But yeah, we'll see. Okay. Now, once this works, then we'll be done with basically everything, right? That will be it for updating. Everything will be working, bar a few minor things, but I'm not worried about those things. So the next step will then be to update to 1.21.11. Now, I don't think that will require changing anything. I believe that will just be a Gradle.properties change. So that should be nice and easy. That does seem to be working. Is that too fast, maybe? I'm unsure. I think it's good enough. I just want it to like somewhat work for now. And then we can come back to getting it to work properly later. Because that's more of an issue with the actual machine rather than like an issue with updating. So I'm honestly happy to leave that as it is. That works fine. It should only do that though. 1 second. It should only do that if yeah, sure, we'll do that as well. And so let's say or we need to know if it's processing or not. So do we have an is processing, or we don't really have that, do we? Or does not have energy, maybe. Oh, that requires a recipe. Ooh. Or the stock current recipe ID is equal null. Or oh wait, recipe RPM. What is that set to? Is that actually set to something that we can use? Else, if it has energy, no, it's not going to be. So that kind of fucks things up because we can't then use the recipe. So it's effectively impossible to know if it's processing or not. Therefore, I think what we'll have to have is we'll have to have a last progress, I think. Or just, I guess, a boolean. We could just have a boolean. Private boolean is processing, but that does mean we have to sync that, unfortunately. So we're going to have to sync that to the client. So what we will do is we will say So in I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. Because basically anywhere it fails is where we need to set is processing to false, right? So is processing here will be set to false. Is processing here will be set to false. So is processing here set to false. And here, this is processing is equal false. And the only place that it should be set to true is going to be here. So we're going to do this dot is processing is equal true. And therefore, we can then just use or not this dot is processing. And we can just sync that to the client. And that's fairly easy to sync to this client. So we can just use view.put boolean is processing, this dot is processing. And then here, what we can do is do the same thing. So this dot is processing is equal view dot is processing. And if we go into here, we can then just do this. And so what that should leave us, I don't think we can hot swap, can we? Because we've done things, is that correct? That is correct. So let us try again. Meanwhile, that's doing that, I'm quickly going to put my phone on silent and just make sure that's fine. Okay. So now we wait. So yeah, the next thing to do will be, as I said, update to 1.21.11. And then the next thing to do is going to be to update to Moj maps, which I'm hoping we can just use a migration script, but I suspect some things will not work. Specifically mix-ins, I think, is going to be the problematic one there. Okay, so those are now not spinning. And if we put that cable back, we should just be able to see that start spinning. Okay, fantastic. That's basically all we needed. So that's all done. So we can go ahead and clear, and we're done. So those all work. Nice. So as I said, next step is going to be to update. Now I'm quickly going to commit all of this to the GitHub and just check. Yep, that's all fine. So I will commit that. Nice. Okay, so next thing is 1.21.11. So let's go into the Gradle.properties and do some updates. So 1.21.11, 1.21.11. We need to find the latest yarn version. So even though we're only going to be using yarn kind of temporarily, we still want to obviously get a valid version possible. I'm trying to remember how this works. I think they use tags. Okay, so it's actually also on build number 3, so that's fine. Loader version, I think. I don't know if we're on the latest. Okay, so latest is indeed, oh no, it's actually 0.4. That's fine. Okay, next is going to be Fabric API. So that's obviously going to be 11 there, and then we need to see what the latest version of the API is. So I'm quickly going to go and have a look. Okay, so 0.18.2. Oh no, that's Fabric Loader. I'm an idiot. The latest for the API is... I don't know, actually. It seems to be a little bit inconclusive in the Discord, so we'll have to just... Fabric API latest version. If I Google that, we should get... if I go 1.21.11, the latest is 0.140.2. 0.140.2. Okay. And then finally, mod menu. We're going to have to make sure we update mod menu. So mod menu, GitHub. GitHub is actually probably not the easiest way, because I'm going to want to, yeah, let's go mod menu, modrent. Actually, am I using modrent? I don't even remember. Regardless, the latest is 17.0.0-beta 1. So 17.0.0-beta.1. And I think that's everything. We may have to update the APIs. I'm not sure, though. Let me also quickly have a quick look at Tech Reborn Energy. I think that's the same. I don't think that's any different. But I will check. Yeah, so that's the same. That hasn't changed. Did you remember to add world edit? I am not adding world edit. No. So, no, I did not remember, because no, I am not doing that. Okay, the other thing, Fabric Loom apparently is on 14, so we may have to actually use 14. That may be required of us. Let's quickly open the build window and see what's happening here. Hello, Fire Dude. Welcome to the stream. What version of IntelliJ is this? This is... let's have a look. 2025.2.6. I do need to update to 2025.3.1, but that's fine. Excuse me? Okay, I think, yeah, we have to update the... I think we have to update the Loom as well. 14 is not found. Interesting. Is 11 the latest? No, 13 exists. Okay, whatever. We'll use 13 then. That's the one that I'm pretty sure 14 exists, but whatever. It says that doesn't exist, so we'll just ignore that for now. Okay, hopefully that works. What is Mercury? I've never heard of Mercury before. Mercury. Mercury is a library based on Eclipse JDT core that allows for processors to be run against Java code bases. Mercury's prime use is for applying deobfuscation mappings to code bases. Interesting. Fair enough. Oh, I see. Mercury is used by Loom for its migrate mappings task. I see. Allowing most to be quickly updated to newer versions of Yarn or migrating to Moj maps without tedious manual work. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So that's all. That all seems to be working. I hope everything's going to be fine. We'll see. I don't know what all of these are about, but I don't know if these are a problem or not. I hope not, but we will see. As I say, I don't think anything really changed in this version, but we can have a look. So if we go fabric blog and just look up 1.21.11. So these are the changes. So quickly have a go through. So the render events were reintroduced. Yeah, we already know that. That's fine. Okay, so they may have changed a little bit. We'll see. Packet splitter exists. We are not going to use that for now, but we may in the future. And then also offers synchronized recipes. So apparently you have to call this. I don't know if you have to call that when you synchronize. I don't know how that works. We'll have to look at that in the future. Game rules, don't care. We don't have any game rules. Biomodification, that's kind of an issue, but also like don't really care. Yeah, now they want us to migrate to mapping. So I'm going to open this blog post, or this is actually in the docs. So I'm going to move that to my other monitor because we're going to do that in a second. First of all, we're probably going to need to fix some issues. I imagine there are some issues. So let's quickly run gen sources first, so we have all the sources. Are you okay when it comes to fluid rendering in the world for 1.21.11? I don't think that's changed, but we'll see. I hope not. But we're about to find out. I can't imagine it's changed too much. But yeah, as I said, we will see in a second. Why not use Loom 1.14? Because 1.14 doesn't exist, bro. Did you not just watch the stream like 5 seconds ago? It doesn't exist. Okay, we have to wait for sources to gen. This is going to take a hot minute. Let me also, whilst I'm at it, delete this because that is no longer useful to me. Because that's going to be outdated. I have to decompile that again at some point. But that's fine for now. We don't need it for now. Okay, this has taken a hot minute. So it looks like it's actually missed the entire cache, which is interesting. And then, yeah, the next thing to do will be to migrate. So quickly go have a look. So it looks like we have two options basically. We have the Gradle plugin, and then we have an IntelliJ plugin as well. Maybe it's worth trying the IntelliJ plugin. I don't know. I think we'll probably try it. This is going to lag the stream, by the way. So if you guys start to see my camera lag out, that is why. Because, well, IntelliJ itself is actually like dying right now. Okay, so that's common done. Client should be a little bit faster. Hopefully. Maybe. This is the part that always takes the longest. Also, I don't know what the hell is going on here. Why is this file encoding ISO 8859-1? Crazy. Whatever. This is taking a really long time. When you do it for IntelliJ, it's so much quicker than this. But whatever. So let's go ahead and reload from disk, I imagine, and then also maybe probably want to do a sync again. Maybe. So obviously we want to make sure it picks up all of the sources. I think it has just done that. We can have a look though. So we can go to like blocks, all places. Okay, that's fine. That seems to have worked correctly. We're going to like here. Yeah, I think that's worked. Okay. Lovely. So let's try and migrate these mappings then. That is the next step. Oh, let's check it compiles first, I guess. Kind of the most important thing. If it doesn't, then that's going to be very unfortunate. Okay. Apparently I'm importing game rules. Really? What am I doing that for? Interesting. Game rules. How does this work? So get value, maybe? Get value. And then is this from game rules? Dot fire tick. Wait, where's the fire stuff? Is it server game rules? Where the hell has fire tick gone? I wonder if it's in like spread. You got fire spread radius. Is it fire damage? I don't know if it's fire damage, maybe. What we can do, actually, a good way to find out which one it will be, we find fire damage, which I actually can't find. Fire damage, here we go. So if we go ahead and find usages, no, it's not that. So maybe this. And fire spread. So, okay, and then if I is -1, I see. So we can try that then. So we can use fire spread. And we can just see that that is not equal to -1. Like that. Hello, Basti. Welcome to the stream. Is that the only error? I assume not. I assume there are others. Probably unrelated, though. So velocity modified no longer exists. So what does that become? It must still exist, I assume. Velocity dirty. That's better. I actually prefer that name. That's fine. We also have source that has permission level, so that doesn't exist anymore. Interesting. I don't know what that's become. With permissions? Requires... What we can try is find usages, maybe? Requires get requirement. Okay, not really helpful. Command manager don't require permission level. Well, that's probably the one we want. So what we will do is we will say dot requires, and then do we just do like, do we do this on so that requires a permission check? How the hell does this work now? I don't think this was mentioned in the blog, though I am now going to have a look because now I'm curious. No, so this is actually not mentioned in the blog for some reason. I feel like this is a fairly major change here, and they just haven't put this in the blog. Is this the only change though? Is this the only issue? Yeah, okay. Well, the only one in non-client, I suppose. So there are going to be some ones in client as well. Let's have a look at this again. Just see what this is used. So, oh, I see. Okay, I see. So we do it like this, and then we do command manager. And I assume it's admin check? Would that be correct? Yes, that would be correct. Okay. So that's fine. We can just do that in there as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and try and build it again. Also bring this back to run client so we don't accidentally gen sources again, because we don't want to do that. And let's see what the next issues will be. So the next one should be on the client, which is probably a bad thing, but we'll see. Ooh. Oh dear. Oh my god. Okay. I thought they were done with the friggin' rendering changes. Okay. Let's have a look. So toggle button widget is it gone, or is it like interesting. So apparently I actually have a toggle button class. I admittedly don't ever remember creating this. Because I don't think this is the same thing. So what the hell has happened to toggle button widget? Oh. Toggle button. Does that not exist like at all? It seems to not exist. Okay. Well, we can try this anyways and see what happens. So I don't know that. No, this doesn't do what I want it to do, actually. This is more of like a switch toggle rather than the kind of toggle I'm looking for. What we can try is we can look for button widgets, which I think still exists. We go classes, all places, scope button widgets, and then we can look for implementations of button widgets. And maybe there is a one we're looking for. Page turn, pressable text, textured. I admittedly don't see one. So button widget looks to have changed quite a bit, which is interesting. Have a look through this again. Lock button widget. Is this is locked? I mean, this is basically a toggle button. So have they just got rid of the toggle button? Probably not, right? So there's toggle button, which is mine. Button widget, checkbox widget, which is not quite what we're looking for. No. No, no, no. Really? They can't have just got rid of the toggle button. Like, what? I need to know where this was used previously, I think. How the hell am I gonna do that? I actually really don't know. State switching button. Is that really what it's called now? Nope, that does not exist. That is not a thing. No. Unless that's the Mojang name. Let's have a look. We go mappings. Let's go classes, state switching button, and 1.21.11, and then translate to yarn. Okay, wait, no, never mind. Nope, state switching button apparently doesn't exist in Mojmap either. Unless it's via no, that wouldn't make sense. I don't know. Toggle. No, it just doesn't exist. Interesting. We'll come back to that one, because that's going to be a real pain in the ass. But we'll have to just come back to it, because there isn't much we can do about that. It's annoying, like really annoying, but we are just going to have to come back to it. We have cycle button. I'm not sure if that's the same. We can have a look. Hello, Spicy Lemon. Welcome to the stream. Cycle button. So we'll go classes. That is also not a thing. Unless that's also a Mojang name. That is a Mojang name. It's called cycling button widget. That seems to be the thing. Yes, that is the thing. That is the correct class, actually. So let's try that then. So cycling button widget, and we once again need a builder, unfortunately, which is a little bit annoying. Maybe that's not the same thing, actually, because that takes in a type. So that obviously cycles between types. I wonder if maybe this has implementations? No. Look at the builder again. Or let's look where this is used, actually. In F3 button, cycling button widget on off builder. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's do cycling button widget dot on off builder, and that just takes in a Boolean default value. Is not really helpful, is it? Default value, let's just go with this, because that's obviously the default value. And then let's just see, then can we do the positions? Oh, the positions you pass into the build function. So you do dot build, and that takes in the positions. That's weird. And then that also takes in some text, which I'm going to do this one for. Like that. And the only problem with that is that means I actually can't override on click, which is really annoying. Like really annoying. I don't know if I can add a listener. No. Can I maybe do that in here? Like, can I do dot on click or something? Narration, icon, values, label type. No. Interesting. What is this text again? This is the option text. I don't think I want that. I think... Don't I just want to omit key text? 1 second, what does vanilla use? Okay, so these ones just take in text. Those ones just take in text. We need one that doesn't take in text. So like this one. So that does omit key text, and then that takes in strict text, and then that takes in some kind of thing. I'm not really sure. I'm a little bit confused here, but... Okay, so that suggests to me that maybe this parameter here... Yeah, this is what it does when it changes. So then we can do that. We can also turn that into expression lambda, and then put it down here. And put that down there. Which is ugly, but kind of the only option. Why don't you just revert back to old version and see what it did and find... This is what replaced it. This is definitely what replaced it. Because this is what vanilla is using. So... we're just going to have to figure it out. Okay, so what we then have to do is... Now that one's fine, like that one's not really too complicated. The more complicated ones are going to be some of the other ones. So for example, the fluid tank screen. This has a toggle between some enum values. I think. Maybe not actually. Oh no, this is just a toggle between two values. Okay. I see. Hello Impasse, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so this isn't going to work then. So we're going to have to use, what's it called? Cycled button widget dot on off builder. We're going to have to do the exact same thing here. So here, for example, that just goes there. This not toggled. Why did I do this? Don't know why I even did that. That's kind of useless, I think. On click, so this is just the on click method, that's fine. Render widget, I think we will have to keep though. Ooh, that one might be a little bit complicated. The reason we might have to keep this one is because it uses a different UV, though maybe we just extract that into two different textures. That might be an easier solution. Regardless, let's go ahead, omit key text, and let's build, pass this in, and then we also need to pass in some text. Now, the text is the problem here. I think let's just use text.empty for now, and until at least we know what it does. That then needs to become a thing. So this is a cycling button widget, and this is of type Boolean, I'm guessing? Yes, okay. On click will just be here. So this is going to come after this. Okay, so all we need to do, and this will then be not value. Okay. What is this? Is it meant to be like that? No, that's fine. Okay, it's just being weird, I think. Yeah, so on click, now go. Oops, come back. And then finally, the issue is render widget. I think let's just split the texture up and do it that way. Oh, I see, they're all in this texture. Right, yeah, that's not even how you're meant to do it anymore. So we can fix that. What we'll have to do is go GY container, and we're gonna have to find the fluid tank. So open in Explorer, and I'm quickly gonna find that fluid tank, and we'll fix this. Admittedly cannot find the fluid tank. Ah, found it. Oh, the fluid tank is actually just the vanilla lock button. Interestingly enough. But oh well. It's fine. Are you using other mods to make a mod pack, or one mod that you made just to confirm? This is just one mod, yes. This is actually just using the vanilla lock textures, which I think is fine. It just means that I don't need them in here. I could just use those vanilla textures. So what we'll have to do, I assume there is a way to change the texture that's used, right? Yeah, so we can do an icon getter here. And then we can just pass in the correct one. Question, actually, what did this one do? What did the battery do? Battery. I'm looking through the textures now. I don't know what that did previously. But sure. So what we can just do is say value, then we're going to do the vanilla lock key one. So I assume we can use the lock button widget to access the textures. So we've got textures that are enabled, but these might not be the right ones. Can we have a look? That's pressable widget, so that's not the right one. Okay, so what textures does it use? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. In that case, what we'll have to do is we'll have to do that, and then we'll have to do that, which isn't ideal, but that's fine. Try running through a code checkout. What do you mean? What code am I checking? Everything is fine. Set toggled. This I think is just, yeah, set value. So that's nice and easy peasy. Okay, that's actually all of that class. So next one, oh, collect vertices. So now that takes in a consumer of a vector 3FC. So that's now just a vector 3FC. I assume that's easy enough to fix. Oh, it takes in a consumer. I see. Okay. Also, I don't know why I'm not using var here. That's fine. Shouldn't the error if you click lead to where there is a problem? Yes, it does do that. Why doesn't this exist anymore? Excuse me? Oh, it's in render layers now, isn't it? Is that right? Render layers dot translucent. Nice. Okay, that's a nice and easy fix. Good. Okay, next is in here. Once again, this is going to be the same thing. So this is going to be entity cutouts like that. I'm going to have to do that in all of these actually, so that's not too bad. Code entity cutouts. Okay, I'm just going to copy that because, as I say, we're going to be using that in all of the models. This is actually cutout no cull, which is fine. It's going to be the same basically. This one's going to be the same. Nice. This one is actually solid. I will probably want to change that in the future, but for now that's fine. That's not gonna cause a problem. This one is also solid. Once again, probably gonna want to change that in the future, but we will see. I would do a find replace, but that's obviously going to break imports, unfortunately, if I do that. So we can't do that. Did I just do... Was this one meant to be... I don't know. Whatever. I don't really care. They can just be cut out, to be honest. There's no point changing them to solid. Cut out will work fine. And is probably better for future-proofing anyways. Nice. Okay. We're making progress. Hopefully these are going to be all the errors we have, but we're going to be a little bit 50-50 on that, I think. Okay, so we've already hit some other issues. These are just the same though, so these are actually fine. I assume this is just secondary block outline. Yeah, that's fine. And this is going to be the exact same thing. So this is just going to be dot lines. Nice. And this is probably the same. Yeah, it is. Secondary block outline and render layers dot lines. Okay, lovely. And then we're just back to the same again. So put you in there. Okay, let's close all of these so we don't go completely insane. This one I know for a fact is always going to be solid, I think. So I'm just going to leave that one as solid. Okay. Next is Industry Translucent Coal. Industry Translucent... Ooh. Translucent Coal? Aha, this one. Okay, fantastic. And next one is git pause doesn't exist. I did think that might happen because there was a git pause and there was a git camera pause. I did wonder if maybe one of them would get removed, and it has, so that's fine. This is the same thing. This is the same thing. Oh, nice. And I assume this is the same thing again. Nice. You, I assume, are just... Yeah, those aren't problems. Those are fine. Okay, next is... These are all probably also the same. So this one's going to be lines. And assume these are also... Yeah, it's going to be lines as well. Render layers, not lines. Now, what the hell has happened to draw box? Excuse me? Where's draw box gone? Uh-oh. I mean, I think draw outline will work. Ooh, the only problem is that that takes in the matrices? Are you kidding me? Oh, of course it does. Okay, let's have a look in debug rendering and see what happens in there. For classes, debug rendering is gone. Excuse me? Okay, where the hell is that gone then? I hate when vanilla does useless changes like this. Is there like a box renderer? Structure box rendering? Maybe? What is this? Box. Let's try and find this and maybe we can figure out where this is used. Get render mode. No, so this is the block entity. What is this? This is block entity. Right, okay, that's just like I see. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to this. Best way I'm gonna find this, I think, is just search it on the Fabric Discord. Okay, apparently it's been replaced with gizmodrawing.box, which is interesting. I suppose let's have a look at that. So gizmodrawing.box. Interesting. So, first of all, that does actually have to take in a box, unfortunately. Which means I do have to make this a new box. Then it also needs the draw style. I don't know what 1001 was. But okay, what is a draw style? Draw style dot... Was it filled? What is this? Oh, this is the hitboxes. Okay, this is stroked, I think. Right? Oh, so that would be the color. Right, so the 1001 was probably the color. So that was... probably blue? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, like, how that exactly works. Is there anything we need to do, like, after that? Like notify, maybe? And it is, unless there's, like, a submit gizmo. No, there is not. Let's see where this is used, and then we'll kind of figure it out from there. So this is inside of render invisible blocks, which is called in here. Yeah, so that doesn't do anything. That doesn't, like... So how the hell does that work? What? Like, how does that actually render it? Because that doesn't take anything in. It doesn't take in the vertex consumers. It doesn't take in anything. How do you work? Collect? Gizmo collector. Oh. Interesting. Oh god, that's going to be a real pain with the friggin' fake worlds. That's going to be real pain. So I think, if I understand correctly, that doesn't need to go into... Yeah, so that doesn't need to be in a submit custom anymore. That can just be like that, which is a little bit simpler, but it's going to fuck a few things up, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and build again, and then we'll see what the next one is. I assume it's going to be very similar, so I'm actually going to copy this. So this is debug field box. I don't suppose we still have... We do have that. Well, that's nice. This one is going to be lines. But it's actually not going to be lines because this is using vertex rendering. So we're going to have to do... Oh, wait. Oh. So here I'm minusing the pause, but I actually don't think that's gonna work. I think we actually want to, like, pass the pause in, I think. So, like, in here, because the box has a position, I wonder if I could just use the float expansion. Not for that one. So what was this previously? So this is just the size. So I actually probably on this one can just pass in the pause and then pass in the expansion, which is the size. think. So the pos is going to be what, port dot. Oh wait, no, this is the specific port, right? So this is going to be state dot pos, and then that will just take in then the size. Second argument needs to be a float, so this will just become float, and that will become 0.5. That was adding that anyway, so that's fine. And then it just needs the color. So the color, it is a get color array rather than like an integer, which is a little bit annoying. So what we'll have to do is we'll just have to return these as integers instead. And I'm kind of going to make Copilot do that all for me. So if I do a private static int get color, it should, hopefully, these should be the right values. I mean, it'll be hard to know for sure, but I suspect it's probably correct. So then we can just do int color is equal get color, and we can just pass in color like that, and then this can go. Now, only problem is these aren't going to be bright, so these are going to have to be half transparency, which is what, like let's go with like 8.8 maybe. That will do. Okay. And then here, I assume that's the same. Would that be correct? Yeah, so here I can probably actually do this a lot simpler. And I can instead do gizmo drawing dot arrow. Possibly. Now, only problem is... Yeah, that might work, actually. So that adds... Yeah, only issue is that... If we do to center pos and then add, that's fine. And then this is going to be... build, I assume? Dot pos, so that will just need to be state dot to center pos. And then... that just requires a color. So I can just do alpha. What is alpha? Oh, so that's so it like yeah, like, you know, I don't know how to say it. So it like pulses in and out, basically. That's fine. This doesn't need to be in a submit custom anymore though, so that's nice. We can just get rid of those. And the matrices just don't need to be there anymore, I believe. So those can just go. If not, should render hitboxes return. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, lovely. Next one. This is the same again. So this is just lines, and this is lines. Yeah, this is also going to be lines, yeah. But that's, yeah, this one actually, what is this one for? This is for the shake box, right? So what we can do, this one is actually super simple. So this one can just be gizmo drawing dot box. We can pass in the shake box, and then we can just pass in the color, basically. So that'll be fine. That's doing it as red. That's fine, I guess. It doesn't really matter what the color is for that one. This is actually just the... That just doesn't offset. I don't think I want to offset it. I think I just want to Do it like that. Nice. Okay, this one. So this one also is going to be the consumer or vertices thing. So this one will be a consumer. We'll just do that, and then this also needs to be a 3C as well. Nice. Okay, next is... Okay, this one's going to be fine, I think. So this one, first of all, camera pause. Now, this... I don't think I'm going to need, because once again, we can just use that gizmo rendering. And therefore, hopefully, because it's just the pause, we can just expand that by 0.25. So we can actually just do gizmo drawing, dot box, we can pass the pause, we can expand by 0.25, I assume that's 0.25f, and then we can just give it the color. So that color we can once again actually just take. So that uses a color map. So I'm actually just going to get rid of that, because that doesn't need to exist. And then get rid of that. Yeah, and then I'm going to use the thing we had before. So that is multi-block IO block entity renderer. I'm actually going to make this public. And then I'm going to refactor. I'm going to move the method. I'm going to move that into pipe network world renderer. Like that. And then I'm just going to use get color. And that takes in that. And then we can get rid of that. That just then needs to be the... What was it? The draw style dot field? I don't know if it's filled, actually. I think it was stroked before. So a pause, but that's vertex, which is pipe.toCenter pause. So actually, we can just get rid of all of that and all of that, and just pass in the pipe. And that's actually it. This one... Yeah, so... Oh, we actually do need that back. We just need it down here. Yeah, that's fine. We can just do pipe.toCenter pause. And then we can do spec 3D camera pause is equal camera entity dot pause or something. I think it was actually just Minecraft client dot get instance dot game renderer dot camera dot get camera pause. And then we can just do pause is equal pause dot subtract camera pause, like that. This I'm actually just gonna do camera like that, and then that means I can just do that, which is a little bit simpler. Now here, I think I actually could do gizmo rendering dot text as well, which would also be easier. I think we'll leave that for now, but we might need to do that. Or not necessarily need to do that, but it would probably be beneficial to do that. We'll come back to it and we'll consider it. What's going to help progress? Progress is okay, but I think that is about to go downhill, unfortunately, Wide. You can already see here that things are a little bit iffy. So is cutout MIPS just like gone, or is that... Yeah, cutout MIP is gone, which is interesting. This is just going to be cut out, and then this is going to be translucent moving block. Was it translucent moving block before? Yes, it was. I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure. Are you doing motion map now? No. I'm still updating to 1.21.11. And it's turning out there's just a couple things that are completely broken. So, yeah. Just having to fix all of those. It's a lot worse than I expected it to be. Assume this is... yeah, okay. Thought so. That's fine. Ooh, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't remember. Can I find it in here, maybe? So let's render clouds. That's render section. That might be it. Oh god, I hope it's not that. That's that. That's that. So that's all of that. That's that. And see, outline drain. Draw blit. It might be that. Possibly. Maybe. Is this even used? No. Oh, I see. I see. I see. That's. Oh, I see. Okay. I think we need a render pass. Yeah. I think we'll have to make a render pass for this. Because what is this specifically for? This is for... I don't know, actually. I don't remember. Okay, we'll come back to that one, I think. Yeah, we'll come back to that. This one's hopefully going to be nice and simple, so this one should just be... Oh. No. No, this one is not going to be simple. This one's going to be... This is going to be arse. Yeah, this one's going to be really bad. The problem with this one is because the way Gizmo renderers work, or Gizmo drawing works, is it draws it into the current world. It just has access to that context, I guess. And here we're trying to draw it into a fake world, and I assume it doesn't have access to that. And maybe it does, like maybe it just works, but I don't think it will work. I mean, we can try, but I don't have my hopes up. Just do color helper dot. We can do get. What do we need? ARGB? Yeah. And then just pass it in RGB like that, and then doesn't need that, does it? Yeah, ARGB. What does red, green, blue? These are floats. Okay, so these need to divide by 255. Is that right? Or do they need to? Is that right? No, they need to. Wait. They need to do and 0xFF. Is that right? Oh no, because it's a float. Wait, shit. This is man, my brain is not awake enough for this. I'm just gonna use color helper. Fuck it. Because color helper has you can do. Oh, actually, we can just use color helper from floats. That would be easier. So we'll just do 1.0f and then R G B like that. What is this one? All right, so that needs to be wrapped using stroke. That's fine. Oh, this actually does take in an A. Never mind. And that can go. Okay, there's going to be other problems in here, I imagine. Actually, this just takes in the color here. So there's actually no need to do all that shenanigans. I probably should have looked at that earlier, but that's fine. I can then just do color. Okay, lovely jubbly. Is there, what is this? That's fine. That's fine. That's not necessary anymore. That's nice. I'll take that. That's W. Okay, can you go away, please? Thank you. This is, that's fine. I think I mean, not ideal, but sure, that's fine. Yeah. So this is the only problem. I'll be honest. I'm probably just gonna get ChatGPT to fix that one because I'm not sure about that one. Let's continue. We'll move on. So what the hell's happening here? So draw icon, draw context int float, draw context int float, draw context int float. Okay, this is just renamed to draw icon, apparently. That's nice. I'll take that. This. What? Oh, this is the wrong text class now, because that needs to now be that. Because there's also a text class which is a subclass of button widget. Why the fuck they called it that, I don't know. That's kind of extremely dumb, but this is Mojang we're talking about, so we also shouldn't be that surprised. Oh dear. Color int. Does it not? Oh, I see. So previously, oh, so it needs to override both of them. Or does it not? Maybe it doesn't need that one. No, it does. What's it complaining about? Also needs line width. Is that a new thing? That is indeed a new thing. Line width. Delegate.line width. Okay, does it need this one or no? It does need that one for some reason. Okay, Mojang. Sure. Moving on. This is the same problem, so this needs to be text.empty. And then this needs to be draw icon. That may cause problems. I'm not sure. This, yeah, same thing again, which is kind of a little bit suspicious and is making me think that this draw icon method is probably actually what it says in the name and not the render method, but we will see. That's a nice and easy one. This is, ooh dear, that's not a great one. There is no int array of vertices anymore. Okay, well, we can get the position, right? Yeah. Which kind of is what we want anyways. So I think it will be doing this, and that will take in the offset, I think. That gives us a vector free FC. And then this will then be vertices dot get or vertices dot x, I guess. Oh, but that takes in the offset. Wait. Wait, now I'm not sure. This might just be vertices.x actually, and then this will be vertices.y, and then this will be vertices.z, and then I don't think we need this anymore, because obviously I guess that just stores a float instead now. And then this will just be the same, so then vertices will then become the same thing again. And then we just grab those positions. And then, yeah, we can't really inline those because of this, but that's fine. Well, actually, we could just have, call this start vertices. Get rid of that, and then just have a vector FreeFC and vertices. I don't know why it's done this. That can just like not do that, please. And then that can just take in those. Actually, even better, I can now just make this from method just take in start vertices and end vertices. And all I have to do is change this to take in a free FC. And I think if we just pass in x, y, z, x, y, z. Actually, that probably breaks a bunch of stuff, doesn't it? V0 is vector free f. That still works because vector free f just extends vector free fc. Is that right? Yes. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay, that's fine then. Okay, fantastic. That's fine then. Good. So I think that's everything. Other than that one issue. Let's have a look and see if that is indeed the case. Yeah, so this is the final issue. I genuinely, I don't know what the issue is or like how to solve this. Honestly, I think most likely Codex probably wrote this part because I'm not actually even sure what this is for. I think it is just for rendering the frame buffer, right? So I just render it basically as GUI texture, if I'm understanding correctly. I don't know how you do that anymore, though. So I'm going to do a little bit of cheating just to see if it can solve this one. It may not even work, in which case we'll have to try and delve into the vanilla rendering pipeline, which I really don't want to do. So hopefully this does work. And we will see. Now, we also could probably do a Minecraft extracted though, so we can see the sources. It'll figure that out. It will figure that out. So all we need to do, let's say, can you fix the compile error? You may need to decompile the Minecraft sources in order to view the vanilla code. Sure. it should probably be able to figure it out from that. So we'll try. And then once this is done, finally then we can update to Mojang mappings. Meanwhile, that's doing that, actually, let's download this plugin that we need to do and get this, you know, set up or whatever. So what was it called? It was called, I don't know. What was it called? Ravel. Marketplace. Probably this one. Okay, install. Accept. Okay, lovely. We'll try that in a minute. I don't know how you use it. Probably should look at the plugin thing, and it'll probably tell us that, I imagine. So let's have a look. Ravel. Here you are. So, refactor, remap using Ravel. Is that it? This also remaps mix-ins and access wideners, so that will be very useful if that works. Okay, cool. Let's see what... Okay, so it's just going to run compile Java. That's fine. I probably could have told it to just run compile client Java rather than compile Java, because this is going to take absolutely forever because it's running on WSL, but it will do, I guess. After we have updated to Moj maps, I don't know what the plan is after that. Now, I kind of want to look into making Industria multi-loader. However, that is a significant amount of work. So I don't know if we're going to do that or not. The alternative is that we just continue working on Industria, which I kind of just want to do, to be honest. But in order to do that, we do need to work more on the multi-block system. And we need to get that working for the new multi-blocks so that we can build multi-blocks. And then basically we're gonna have to start converting all of the old multi-blocks into the new ones. So you have to build the multi-blocks rather than just place them down. That will be the plan. This is actually going to take a very long time, by the way. Just so you guys have a little bit of a heads up. And it timed out as well. Lovely. Let's actually tell it. You can run gradlu : compile client Java to save some time, as the issue is within the client source set. Ensure you have a long timeout set. Okay, the other alternative, I guess, it's actually, yeah, let's just run it ourselves and then we can just give it the output. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we can just do /gradlu : compile client Java, because that's going to run so much faster. Yeah, that takes 5 seconds, whereas in WSL we're talking, you know, like 5 minutes. So here's the error. Paste. Boom. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and have a look at that. I assume it will actually go ahead and decompile Minecraft, but we'll see. It might not, in which case this obviously isn't going to work because it needs to know how that works. So let's see what it says. It may find the class file, but I don't think it will, because I think the sources are just a jar file. I know obviously Vineflower does decompile it, right? But where it puts the source files, I don't know where it puts them. I think it puts them in the Gradle caches, so not in here. Should we actually quickly try and find that? Maybe that might save a little bit of time if we can do that. So caches, I think. Then isn't there a... No, maybe it puts them in Fabric Loom then. Decompile. No. 1.21.11. Not really what I'm looking for. I think it's actually going to be in the Gradle folder in that case. Which I don't know what Gradle version we are using. Probably have a look. So if we do .gradle, we're using 9.0. Okay. So if I quickly have a look through this. Forget where it is. Is it in file hashes or something? I don't know. I can't find it. I cannot find it. Oh, actually, I may have just found it. Oh yeah, I found where it will be, but it's all hashed, so I can't find it by name. Let's see what this is doing. Okay, it's doing a similar thing to what I'm looking for. Okay, it's going to run gen sources. That's going to take a really long time. In that case, chat, I honestly think I think I'm just going to end the stream here. I know it's early, like very early, but this is going to take a really long time for it to figure this out. So, and there isn't much else we can do until this is done. Remapping it, I assume using this plugin will just be like a couple clicks. So I can get that done after this is all working. We may have some errors in the game, of course, so obviously things may not work as expected, in which case I have to fix those as well. But I have some other things I need to get done tonight as well, which are not related to Industria, so this is actually kind of a good opportunity for me to do those as well. So I am actually going to go ahead and end the stream here. I will be live again next weekend, and I promise we will do some Railroad next weekend. Even though we didn't do some this weekend, we are going to do some next weekend. I've been working on the console window, and hopefully that's kind of like near to be done, so that shouldn't be too bad. There may be a stream during the week, but if there is, it'll probably be on Twitch. I don't know. We'll see. I need to talk to Alex about that at some point, and we'll see. We may stream during the week. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. And yeah, I will see you all either some point during the week or at the weekend. Yeah, so I'm going to end it here. Good. Bye.